Hello everyone. Let's see, hope I'm recording. I thought I would start with a video on how I care for the babies because they are dolls, so they're not being held and changed and handled all day every day. They do require a little bit of extra help staying clean. And just in general, how I do my doll maintenance. And I do this every time I'm changing. I have Denley here and I'm about to change his outfit. And this is basically the little routine I go through every time I change one of the babies. Okay, here we go. His pacifier does not stay on him very well. His magnet inside his head shifted. And I know it sounds strange because if you glue it, once the glue dries, it shouldn't move. But when I got him, I don't even remember when I got him. He's been with me so long I can't remember. The pacifier with the magnet in the middle would stay over his mouth. And I had to position it kind of strangely, and then eventually it would stay. And over time, it wouldn't stay at all, to the point where I had to modify the pacifiers for him. So he has his own set. They look like this for him. You'll notice the magnet is at the bottom. And I use a tiny magnet because it happens to be right in the chin indentation. So if I use a bigger magnet, it'll actually push it up and it looks quite unnatural. So with the little magnet, it kind of goes into the little dip and it stays there pretty well. I have to get the courage to take his head off and just fix that. Because if it moved to begin with, I can probably move it again, re-glue it. I haven't had the nerve to do it yet. I did take the head off of Jean-Luc, my little monkey, and I put a magnet in him, which was also not completely successful. It came out a little to the side, so I'm going to have to redo that. But I do have now some experience taking off the head. He's so special to me. I fear doing something like that. But it will have to be done eventually because the magnet on that isn't permanently glued on. On the pacifier, I use glue dots, so it's semi-permanent. I won't do it permanently until the magnet is in place because I don't really have the expendable money to buy a million pacifiers. So what I do is I buy what I like, and if I have to really like them to buy them. And they all share. So I need them to all be the same. So far all the babies have come to me with the magnet put in the same direction, so they've all been able to share. It hasn't been a problem. So either in a little Grinch outfit, I thought it was appropriate. It got a little cold. I was going to do this a couple days ago, but it got really cold and I really didn't want to change him. It's warmed up a little bit today, so it's a little bit better. Just go ahead and change him. I do not change their diapers. I've invested in some cloth diapers, so each baby has their own cloth diaper. I still have the disposables they came with. I have not purchased any disposable diapers for the babies. All my babies have come with several diapers, so I have no need to purchase any. I don't change them. Since they use the cloth, I use the disposable diapers when they're going to wear an outfit and the cloth diaper is too big, and that's just what happens with cloth diapers. Even with real babies, they're just bulky. Only then a real baby, it's not for display purposes, so it doesn't look as weird. You will notice he has a bit of a tush. It's a little bit of exaggerated tush What I did, because the body does not come with a tush, I folded up the inserts and just placed them in the back, and it works for posing purposes quite nicely. Not when he's flat on his back, but I really don't lay him like this much at all. So what I do before I even put on clothes is do my dusting. And I have a couple brushes that I do that with. So my camera died on me, and this part was not recorded, so I'm just going to insert it right here. These are the brushes that I use to clean and care for the babies. This big brush was a fairly inexpensive brush. I think it was like $3, maybe $4. And I got at Target, and basically what I did was I looked for the softest brush I could find that was also the cheapest. So I went and touched all the brushes. Sorry, ladies. And once I found the brushes that I was happy with the softness, I compared prices, and this was the cheapest. The brand is Elf. I have no idea if that's a good brand, bad brand, cheap brand. It works. They're all the same brand, I believe. This is the other brush I use. You can see it has a bit of a slant to it. It's much smaller, just as soft. And this is really good for the creases, the crevices in the eye wells, the larger little creases and rolls between fingers and toes, inside mouth, open mouths, ears, that kind of thing. This one is the smallest one. It's still very soft, but it has a curve to it, and the ends, my camera can't focus on this, unfortunately, but the ends kind of meet up into a very thin line, if that makes any sense. Oh no, it won't focus on it. And this is really good for the really fine creases, like hands and feet. Also for going inside nostrils. I love this. Is what I use for inside the nostril and things like that. This is an eyebrow brush. I use this part, the plastic brush part. I don't really use it for Denley, but I do have one doll that does not have really great eyelashes, and I use it on her. The other brushes, because you saw me take this out of a pack, the other brushes in this pack do not meet my standard of softness. I would not use these on my babies. But it was a dollar store find, so I bought it exclusively for this brush. So basically, this was what was cut off from the video. And maybe I'll post on Facebook if people ask a picture of the brushes. Okay, so let's hope this works. My other camera died, so now we're on to the phone. As I was saying, I don't know at what point exactly it cut off. I don't even know what I was saying. Well, anyway, so that was the first level dusting. This is the one I check for. This one would be if there's sometimes dirt or something will get into the creases and you really can't get it out. I also use this for the nostrils. He has open nostrils. So I just twirl it around, let it collect the dust. In his mouth. Q-tips are really bad for the mouth. They start falling apart and not good at all. But this one is excellent for all the little creases that come up if you were to need to, I guess, dig out dust. This one, I don't really need it for him. He has very nice eyelashes. So they were very well rooted. He was done by Rhonda from Bartley Williams Gallery, and she does an excellent job. I do, however, have a baby that does not have excellent eyelashes, and that's really I bought this for her. She's the one I use that for. And so now he's been dusted. As far as cleaning, I have never had the need to actually clean a baby. If I were to have the need for whatever reason, I would suggest I would personally use a very soft washcloth with just water. I wouldn't use any kind of soap. It's really not needed. I can't imagine what would get on it that you would need to clean off with soap. For the hair, I have washed his hair once because I've had him so long, and I do use the detangler in his hair. Not because it gets tangled, but it helps with the styling. It started to get a little gunky, that you can feel it, so I did wash it. It was very easy. I used the head to toe baby wash on his head, very little, because he does have very little wispy hair. And basically what I did was because I did it in the kitchen, in the bathroom sink, what I did was I wrapped him in a towel, and I held him basically like this. The towel was wrapped around him, and then I used it under him to lay it on the edge of the sink, and I just held him like this, and I used my hand to wet his hair, and I never put him under the water. He is sealed with waterproof glue, but no need to risk it. And it came out fine. It was perfect, no issues at all. So if it has been sealed with waterproof glue, you can do that. I can't imagine it needing to be done on a regular basis. I think I did that maybe about a year ago now, after having him for about 2 years, so really there's no need. So now that he's been dusted, we'll go ahead, and I like my babies with onesies. He wasn't wearing one before just because I don't generally change the onesie unless it's been stretched out, because they're the Gerber onesies he uses, the onesies my son left. So they do get a little stretched out after being worn for a while, so I'll switch them out. And sometimes the outfit calls for a tight onesie on them, so an extra onesie really isn't needed. And I thought he was wearing one, and he wasn't, and I didn't want to get up and go get one. So when he got this outfit on, that's why he did not have a onesie. And next I'll do his little socks, little striped socks that go with his little striped outfit. These socks, and also these socks he was wearing, also belong to my son. Denley wears a lot of clothes that my son left that I kept. I'm glad I kept it. I was called crazy with keeping all that. Just a waste of space. But I don't regret it. Got these. These are from last year, I think. Or very early on this year. And I bought one for him and one for Darlene so they can be matching. They were on clearance, so that's why I got it. I really don't spend too much on individual outfits for them. It has to be an outfit I absolutely love, must have, for me to spend a lot of money on it. I'm very frugal that way. I did the same thing, and I still do the same thing with my son. I don't usually buy expensive clothing. I just feel clothing is just decoration for your body. I rather spend my money on other things that we can actually enjoy and help us enjoy living. What I do invest in for my son is shoes, because, you know, we're on our feet and we need good shoes to support our bodies. But other than that, I am a clearance rack shopper. I am a sale shopper. And the same goes to the babies. This hobby for me is very therapeutic. Therapy comes in going through the motions like I am right now, not in seeing them in an expensive outfit. So I really don't have the need to buy expensive outfits. But that's just personal preference. I know a lot of people do spend a lot of money on the clothes for their reborns, and all I can say is I'm glad you have the money to do that. I envy that you have the money to do that. I certainly do not. So, glad somebody out there does. I hope that maybe I'll have expendable money one day. And I would if I didn't have a son. I'm often asked by people who don't have children, where does all your money go? Why? You don't earn that bad, and my wage is not really too bad. Where does all that money go? I have this kid, and sometimes he eats a lot, and sometimes he grows a lot, which means I literally have to buy him a new wardrobe every couple of months. I have no choice. And that adds up. So now we're cozy. I like my babies with shoes. My son always wore shoes, crib shoes, but he always wore shoes. I know that they preach barefootedness and socks and all that, but I have never had an issue with my son keeping his shoes on. And I know, I'm convinced that part of the reason for that fact is that he always wore shoes, so to him shoes were never alien. I can't afford to have a child to take off shoes. He never lost a shoe either. That's something that happens with babies a lot. They'll take them off in the stroller and then they'll dump them out the stroller, and parents never see when it happens, and I know how they can never see when it happens. You're sleep deprived and there's too many variables for you to notice a little tiny shoe flew out your stroller. But he never lost a shoe because he never took off a shoe, because there's never a reason to take off a shoe. So I like my babies with shoes. It's training. Just like clothing. You put clothing on them, not just to keep them warm, but to train them. That's what we do. We put clothing on. So he's got little shoes. There we go. So we're almost done here. My son has somewhat long hair, and I use the Johnson's No More Tangles detangler. I like it. It's expensive. So what I do, because I like the way this bottle looks, like it's a very nice bottle. I like this color, and it's very distinct. You know exactly what it is at first glance. It doesn't blend in with the bottles on the shelf, so I really, really like it. But I'm not about to spend that much money on the tangler for dolls. It just does not make sense to me. So while I will grab his once in a while to use it, they have their own bottle that is kept separately. His bottle is kept in the bathroom. And I fill it up with the dollar store detangler. There's nothing wrong with this detangler. I don't mind it at all. The bottle, very similar. It has a cap and a loose caps. And then it bothers me that I know a cap goes there and it doesn't have a cap. It's one thing. Another thing, it does not stand out the way this one does. It just kind of looks like blah on the shelf, and well, it's for display purposes mostly, so I transfer it over. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, because this one's almost gone, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer it over. Give it a good shake before I do. Also, I don't like the way that squirts out. I like it to mist out a little more than to spray out, because they do have very little hair. And it's not tangled, so it doesn't really need the strong spurt that comes with this one. And I'll keep that bottle until I use up more on this one and finish filling it. And for his hair, it's a little staticky. Start it up again. There we go. There we go. That's about it. And basically, that is all that is needed. This little wispy hair. There we go. He is all done. This little outfit. And that is how I care for my babies. Thank you for watching. If you have any further questions or have any requests or anything, feel free to comment and let me know. I will be accommodating requests for a while, I guess. There's no harm in that. And everybody have a great day, and we'll see how this video turns out with my technical difficulties. Bye!